Welcome back to Healing State Mojo, the podcast that helps you unlock your body's natural ability to heal, recover, and reach your full potential. I'm your host, Heather Creason, and together we'll explore science-based strategies, practical tips and insights, plus a little bit of mojo to help you create real, lasting change in your life. Whether you already listened to the first episode or you're just jumping in for the first time today, you're exactly where you need to be, and I am so grateful you're here. In today's episode, we're going to explore something I've seen time and again in my work and in my own life. Your body is always speaking to you. Those nagging or frustrating symptoms you're experiencing, they're not random. They're actually signals. Your body isn't working against you, it's trying to tell you something. It's communicating with you the best way it knows how. And when you learn how to listen and know what steps to take, you'll finally start to unlock the deeper healing that you've been looking for. So let me ask you a question. How many times have you felt like you're playing whack-a-mole with your health? You hammer down one symptom over here, but another one pops up over there. Fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, digestive issues, anxiety, maybe even all of them at once. You try a diet, a new workout plan, some supplements, or even some medications, and maybe you feel better for a little bit, but then bam, those same symptoms come back or new ones show up, and you end up feeling even worse than before. Or maybe you've been going from doctor to doctor, telling the same intake story, hoping for answers, a diagnosis, or some kind of solution, but you just end up walking away with a prescription for sleep aids or antidepressants, and they tell you to eat better and exercise more. Now, your doctor will probably order some blood tests. That's a common next step and a great place to get a baseline. But here's the thing. The tests can tell you what is off, but they don't necessarily tell you why it's off. So you get a prescription that addresses the problem that showed up on your results, but what if it's only masking something deeper going on in your body? If you've ever felt dismissed, discouraged, or like you're fighting an uphill battle, trust me, you're not alone. And the good news is, there's a better way. Now, I want to be really clear. I'm not here to bash the medical field. I've had incredible doctors who've literally saved my life, and I will be forever grateful to them. I have clients and friends who are fabulous physicians, and I'd wholeheartedly place my life and my kids' lives in their hands. But, and this is a big but, when we look at the system as a whole, there's a lot missing. And that gets far more complicated when you factor in pharmaceutical companies, insurance, and other systemic issues. There's so much we could unpack there, but we'll save that for another day. Here's the point I want to bring us back to. Your symptoms, whether it's fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, anxiety, pain, digestive issues, or even conditions like dementia, cancer, or autoimmune illness, they aren't random. Even though they probably feel like it, they aren't the enemy. They're messengers. Your body is trying to tell you something. And when we only focus on quieting the symptoms by taking a pill, cutting calories, or loading up on caffeine, etc., we're missing the bigger picture. If the check engine light in your car comes on, do you just slap a sticker over the dashboard and hope it goes away? Of course not. You figure out what's going on under the hood so you can fix the real problem. But when it comes to our bodies, we often do the opposite. We slap a metaphorical sticker over our symptoms, a pill, a supplement, caffeine, and we keep going and hope for the best. But when you don't look under the hood and fix what's really going on, the problem doesn't go away. It usually gets worse. Listen, you can't just silence your symptoms and expect your body to heal. You have to dig deeper, look beyond the symptoms, and uncover what's really going on. And here's the beautiful part. As you start learning how to listen, your symptoms stop being something to fight against. Instead, they become your body's signals guiding you toward healing. This whole journey really came into focus for me in my mid-20s. I'd been dealing with weight gain, fatigue, some brain fog, and terrible digestive issues. Like, I knew every restroom stop on my way to and from work terrible. It was so bad. I stopped eating until after work just so I could be home if things went south. I remember thinking, I'm in my mid-20s, this should be the prime of my life, so why do I feel so lousy? I went to the doctor, told them my list of symptoms, and they ordered blood tests. My thyroid numbers were off, so I got the classic hypothyroidism diagnosis. Their solution? A prescription for Synthroid with regular blood tests to make sure my thyroid levels stayed within normal range. I know that for many people, Synthroid has been a relatively effective solution for their thyroid issues, so I'm not knocking that or telling anyone to stop taking their medication. But for me, something about that didn't sit right. Number one, I was young and didn't want to be reliant on medication forever, and I hate taking pills. Number two, I knew something much deeper had to be going on. Even though I couldn't put my finger on it yet, I knew there was still more to the story. And maybe if I only focused on fixing my thyroid and used medication to bring my levels back to normal, I was missing something much more important, something much deeper going on that might come back to bite me later. In a conversation with one of my dad's friends, who also happened to be a physician, I mentioned my diagnosis as well as my intention to explore alternative methods for healing, rather than relying on medication for life. What he told me has stayed with me ever since. This is what he said, very matter of factly, and I quote, "You will never be able to heal your thyroid. You will be on Synthroid for the rest of your life, and there's nothing you can do to change it." That comment was a game changer for me because I'm not particularly fond of people telling me I'll never be able to do something. If you want to light a fire under me, just tell me I can't do it. And about 90% of the time, that works in my favor. In any case, I was determined to prove him wrong, so I started researching how to naturally heal my thyroid. I for sure didn't want to be on medication for the rest of my life, but I also didn't want to be overweight and tired all the time. And let's just say digestive issues had become really inconvenient, so I was pretty motivated to fix this. I had no clue what I was doing, but I knew I wasn't going to live like this anymore. This was around 2007-ish, and as I dove into figuring out how to fix my thyroid, one of the first things that came up in my research was coconut oil. If you were at all interested in health and wellness during that time period, then you know. This was a really popular thyroid remedy back then, so I read tons of books about using coconut oil to heal all sorts of different health issues. And I used coconut oil for everything. Cooking, skincare, dental care. I put coconut oil in my coffee, on my toast, and I just ate spoonfuls of it straight from the jar. As you can probably imagine, it didn't work as well as the books had claimed it would, and I also might have overdone it just a bit. So then I did some more digging and figured out if I wanted to fix my thyroid, I needed to do a cleanse. Back then, the Master Cleanse was a wildly popular detox fad. With the right combination of water, lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup, you could lose weight, alleviate chronic symptoms, and rid the body of harmful chemicals and toxins in just 2 short weeks. I remember being so excited when I got to the checkout counter with my first round of ingredients. I'd finally figured it out. This was the thing that was going to change my life. I got home, immediately mixed up this sickeningly sweet, slightly sour, and mildly spicy concoction and started downing it like there was no tomorrow. I started out strong, but a couple days in, I was feeling like garbage. Now, according to all the advice in the forums I read, this is how you know you're detoxing. This means it's working. So I kept going, juicing my lemons, mixing in cayenne pepper, and rounding it out with some maple syrup. On the days I was super hungry, I drink extra maple syrup straight from the bottle. You'd think I'd realize this wasn't going very well, but I didn't at all. I did this for at least 10 days, but started getting really lightheaded and forgetful beyond that point. Finally, I ended up passing out and hitting my head on the floor. And that ended my attempt at the Master Cleanse. But I was far from being done. This was also around the time that the soy craze hit. So of course, I tried a vegetarian diet with all those different soy-based products. I used soy milk plus soy protein shakes because everyone swore by those. I did veggie burgers and tempeh. Thankfully, this fad ended very quickly for me because I was dating a guy who was a bodybuilder at the time. He started using soy protein because he got caught up in all the hype too, and he started getting boobs. So I figured something was off with this one and ditched that fad pretty quickly. It took a while, and I made a lot of mistakes along the way that made the healing process take even longer. But eventually, over the course of about 2 years, and with very intentional lifestyle adjustments, my thyroid levels returned to normal. I started losing weight, my brain fog cleared up, and my energy was back to where it should be for a 20-something-year-old. I was waking up at a much more reasonable time and actually able to get going in the morning rather than dragging most of the day. And the best part, my digestive issues had cleared up so much that I could even carpool if I wanted to without panicking about where the nearest bathroom was. And if you've experienced things like that, then you know this is freedom. Here's the thing I didn't realize back then. Yes, my thyroid health improved, but the changes I made were helping something much further upstream. My thyroid health was simply the downstream effect of deeper healing in my body. Anyway, I went back and showed my dad's doctor friend my new blood test results. And you know what he said? He claimed that the results had to be a mistake because reversing thyroid dysfunction was not possible. That statement, that doctor, defined my path going forward, and it solidified something important for me, that a diagnosis doesn't have the final say. I made so many mistakes along the way. We all have. That's part of the learning process, and it helps us grow. But this experience showed me that we're capable of healing from far more than we've probably ever imagined, and far more than we've been told we can. Now, I know that a low thyroid diagnosis pales in comparison to what some of you are experiencing, and I know that not all thyroid conditions are healed that quickly. But I've been working with people for over 17 years. I've had more of my own health challenges to overcome, and I've been able to see time and again how capable, resilient, and brilliant our bodies are when we remove the things that interfere with healing and simultaneously nourish our bodies with the right things and get all of our systems working together again. Looking back on that experience and on many of the other ones I've had, I realized I was diving into all sorts of band-aid type solutions without understanding where the real problems were coming from. I jumped headfirst into coconut oil, extreme cleanses, and fad diets, looking for something that would work, but I didn't understand what was really going on in my body, let alone the right way to address it. And you know what? I see this all the time. People taking a haphazard approach to their health and healing. They throw all kinds of supplements, diets, medications, expensive testing, and exercise plans at the wall, hoping something will stick. And let me tell you, there is absolutely no shame in trying that. It's not anything you're doing wrong, it's the system itself that's broken. We haven't been taught how to approach this the right way. Think of it like trying to build a house. You wouldn't start by hanging curtains where the windows are going to go before you even poured the foundation, right? If the foundation isn't solid, nothing you put on top of it will last. Healing is the same way. If you try to jump to advanced solutions like detox programs or intense exercise plans before your body is ready, you can actually end up feeling worse. And here's why. Your body needs the basic energetic and repair elements to do the deeper work you're asking it to do. Through my mistakes, through what I've learned in my own education, and through what I've learned with thousands of conversations with other people on a healing journey, I've learned one powerful truth. When you do the right things in the right order, your most powerful and productive healing work can begin. So as we move forward, as more episodes of this podcast are released, I'm going to show you what that order looks like and how to work with your body, not against it, so you can finally start seeing the results you've been hoping for. I shared this in the last episode, but it bears repeating because it's that important. For your body to be able to heal, for it to be able to repair, for it to be able to do anything you want it to do, you need energy to fuel all of those processes. And no, not the kind of energy you get from caffeine, energy drinks, or sugar, but that deep, sustained energy that's produced at the cellular level by your mitochondria, those wonderful power generators inside your cells that you probably learned about in high school biology. When your body is stuck in a low energy generation state, what I like to call cellular fatigue, it's kind of like trying to run your car when you're almost out of gas and running on fumes. You can keep going for a little bit longer, but everything starts to slow down. The engine sputters, warning lights come on, and if you don't address the problem, the car shuts off completely. In the human body, this is when all those symptoms start piling up. That's when you feel like you're dragging yourself through the day. Fatigue becomes overwhelming, digestive problems, brain fog, hormone imbalances, all sorts of stuff. And your body starts struggling to keep up with even basic functions. No matter how much sleep you get or how many supplements you try, even diets, it feels like nothing works. Let's pause here for a second because I really want you to think about this. What does running on empty feel like in your life? Maybe you start canceling plans with friends or skipping activities you enjoyed. You can't keep up with your kids. Maybe you're just trying to make it through the day, so things like cooking healthy meals or moving your body are getting pushed to the back burner. You aren't thinking clearly. Maybe it affects your mood, so you're irritable and on edge, maybe even losing your temper. And let's be honest, all this doesn't just affect you, it affects your relationships, your work, your family, and even your ability to dream about the future. You start to feel like you're just surviving, not really living. Here's the good news. It doesn't have to be that way. When you learn to increase energy production at the cellular level, things start to change. Your body can finally do what it's designed to do: heal, repair, and function at its best. You start running on a full tank again. This is where my work comes in. Over the years, I've seen so many people who were stuck chasing symptoms and getting nowhere. And one of the reasons I'm doing the work I do today is because I've had so many conversations with people who were feeling stuck, making no progress. So it really made me dig deep and start to look at things in new ways. My approach is different because it focuses on getting to the root of what's keeping you tired, sick, and stuck. It's about supporting your body as a whole, restoring energy production, reducing stress and stressors, clearing out waste toxins and toxicants that are weighing you down, and ultimately helping you get back into your healing state. So here's where we are. Healing doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen overnight. But when you do the right things in the right order, you'll start to see that healing is possible. You'll have the energy to show up for your life again, fully engaged instead of just dragging through it. In the next episode, we're going to take this conversation one step further. We're going to start talking about things you can do or not do that help increase energy production at the cellular level, at that mitochondrial level. Because like I said, if you want to heal and recover from anything, you've got to have the basic energetic and repair elements for your body to do the deep work you're asking it to do. Trust me, you don't want to miss it because this is a critical piece of the puzzle that's been missing for a long time, and it's one of the things keeping us really stuck, tired, and sick. I can't wait to see you there. So if this has resonated with you, if you enjoyed this episode, I hope you'll stick around because there's a lot more great stuff to come. If you're on YouTube, follow me there. If you're listening on an audio platform, subscribe to the podcast and leave a rating or even a review. And if there's someone you love and care about who could use a little healing state mojo in their lives, share this with them. This is the way we're going to be able to get this work out to more and more people and be a blessing in their lives. So thank you for joining me today. Remember, your body is brilliant and it knows how to heal. Together, we're helping you tap into that brilliance and create real, lasting transformation and change. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or evening, wherever you are, and I will see you in the next episode. I'm Heather Creason, and this is Healing State Mojo.